Hi, this is Chris. We're going to go over how to turn this piece of paper into a year-at-a-glance tarot book. So it's easier to write on a full sheet of paper than it is in that little tiny booklet, so I recommend leaving it whole when you're doing your reading for yourself. So to start with, just so we know where our pages are, you're going to want to fold your paper. So start by folding it in half, and then those sides are going to be folded in half as well. Take your time to line things up nice and neat. It'll make your book look much neater as well. Don't try to fold both pieces over at the same time. That can make things misaligned. It's better to line up all your corners one little side at a time. Okay, so that's all the folds on the long side. Now I'm going to go for the other direction. Or as they say in teaching terms, hot dog versus hamburger. Like I said, really take the time to line up your corners so everything ends up nice and neat. Don't try to fold both sides over at the same time. Fold one side at a time. When you go to use this piece of paper, I have put lines to designate what is the top of the page. So the beginning of your reading is going to start at January, and this line is where you will write down the name of the card that you pull. This is just a year at a glance. It's not a major detailed reading. I like to do a full year draw. That's 12 cards, so you could always draw extras on it to kind of clarify more about the month, but it's just a general reading. So I just want to put down the card name and whatever that the key notes are for that particular card is. If it was reversed, sometimes that can be important because like say for example, you pull the devil card and it's reversed, it may mean that you're not, spending as much time enjoying life as opposed to overindulging. So the orientation of your card could be important, but I will usually just designate that by putting a little R inside of a box to kind of give me the idea. So once you get to March, then you actually have to flip your piece of paper over, then go to April, May, June, July, and then once again, you're going to flip your piece of paper over again for August, September, October, November. So when you're done, it's going to look something like this. Once we've reached this stage, we're going to cut lines so that it will fold more easily. When we're done with the lines that we've cut, it's going to have sort of a zigzag pattern that's going to happen, kind of like such. See my zigzag that happens? That way November and December end up back to back, and August, July end up back to back. So when I assemble it, boom, 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 the pages will flip nicely. The last strip that's next to December actually folds all the way around to become the cover. So these will end up getting glued together. So I'm going to show you a little trick for cutting the lines. You could, of course, use a pair of scissors if you're the kind of person who likes to, make everything nice, clean, straight edges. I actually like to tear. And to get a nice clean tear, what I do is on that fold line, I'm going to crease it again, and I'm going to kind of go over it a couple of times. I'm going to fold it back the other way, crease it a couple of times. The more you do that, the weaker the paper becomes along that line, so it will tear more easily. It becomes almost kind of like that perforated paper that you can buy to put in your printer. So I don't want to tear this last line right here that's next to November and December. So I'm going to start over on this side. And what I do is I'm basically putting my hands next to each other, and then I'm going to tip them points together. So it kind of peaks the paper together and crease that ridge like that. And I'm only tearing it to that corner right there. I'm going to flip it around this way because we're going to be doing this line next. Heavily crease. Flip it over. And like I said before, the more times that you crease that line, the easier the tear will be. I'm not going to do every single one because I want to take up too much time on this video, but you get the idea. So we get our full torn piece. Looking something like this. At this point, I'm going to take a glue stick just to make it much tidier and neater. Of course, you can just fold it up and it will be just fine on its own. It'll be a great little pocket size booklet. You can either throw in your wallet or your purse. This part right here is going to wrap around and become my cover, so I don't want to glue those first. I'm going to start with December back here, but I'm going to start and leave these two open. So I'm going to start, actually, I'm going to leave all three of these and just start with December, backside of December. And once again, take your time, line up your edges. And it's just sort of an accordion process back and forth. Make sure that you have gotten it folded the right way first before you start gluing everything. Otherwise, you may end up with a page that is in the wrong direction and it won't open. All right. And then this is the back side. It becomes the back side of my cover. And my front of my cover actually gets glued to the first page on its back side. So when we open up, we open to January. So these two pieces are going to get glued together. Before I do that, I kind of want to crease my lines again to make sure it's as tight as it can get. When you fold over the front, you'll notice that it doesn't quite go all the way to your edge. If you're one of those people who doesn't like that little edge right there, the little trick that I did is I took some tape and made a little decorative edge on there. So I'll throw the glue on there. And voila, you have tarot reading book.